disclaimer. This is a subjective list, and it's more about giving people new information than it is about how great my opinions are. So, this is just going to be a top 5 list of strikers that are not competing in the UFC. Although I only included one mixed martial artist. The rest are pretty much across the board. I wanted to get a Muay Thai practitioner, a Western boxer, Dutch style kickboxing, as most of you know, is kind of my baby. Maybe you can put 2 and 2 together with what you're looking at and what I just said. So let's get this going. Numero 5, the only MMA person, MVP, Michael Venom Page, very tall, 170. One thing I want to touch on real quick is that term bruscamente. It's an Italian word. It means brusque or abrupt, and what I mean by that is he changes his cadence from super slow to super fast. And as far as being an anti-fundamentalist, I will explain that as this goes on. One of the things that is paramount to fundamentals is to not flare your elbows, to not telegraph strikes. That's one of the things you really want to teach beginners. See, right from the jump here, you can tell. Look at his left lead arm, very bladed. He's bringing his shoulder up, flaring his elbows out, taking ridiculously drastic angles. Look at that from the bird's eye. Now look what he's doing with his arms. I mean, it looks almost like 80s style kind of robotic dance moves, if you will, like old school breakdancing with pop and lock. And see the low shoulders leading to that unbelievable tornado kick right there, standing there looking into the crowd. But see how he lifted his left shoulder there? And he's gonna like kind of no sells into a full sell, if that makes sense. So these flaring elbows and these shoulders popping up and down, as much as that may seem like nonsense and just completely psychological warfare, I guess, for lack of a better term. I don't really like using war when it comes to combat sports, but it has efficacy. And I'll slow this down so you can see what I'm saying here. See how he's leaning in there to gauge a reaction. Now look at his right arm out, left arm out, then the right straight, left hook, short right, and he ended up shrugging off that takedown. Comes in, jab, flick into a leg kick. But see how he kind of skipped into it, then he stands and poses. And you'll see more of this kind of trance dancing, that beautiful pop uppercut right there, and it just once you start seeing all of these things come together, and you start understanding why it's so hard to defend him and or attack, because see, he's moving pre-strike as well. If you see, he'll take his head off the center line constantly, so his angular sense and his ability to get in and get out is absolutely uncanny, on top of being a 6'3", 170-pounder that can do that. Wonderful athlete. So next on the list is Chocolatito González. I put technically perfect, unusually high finishing rate, very similar to DJ in that he does everything essentially perfectly, but gets a little bit overlooked for being a smaller guy, unfortunately. So the theme here would be balanced, right? And that's kind of a double entendre. So what I want you to see is that he's balanced throughout, and he's balanced with his skill set. He's usually in the orthodox position. You'll see him chase down while being defensively responsible a lot. Hands high, shoulders high, chin tucked. I mean, it's fun. It's perfect fundamentals. You don't see any flash. He's the antithesis of someone like Nassim Hamed, who I've covered in the past, and I actually covered a Chocolatito in depth before, but that's not really what this breakdown's about. See him being defensively responsible there on the attempted liver shot, and he likes to lead in with a shovel hook a lot, and he sells it by kind of dipping that right shoulder, and see how he when he's flurrying here sometimes, and I don't think in this example, but even there it's so fast it's hard to assess in full speed. But what he'll do is he'll reassess. I covered that in the Garbrandt breakdown versus Almeida, how he'll tag and then reassess without rushing in hastily and getting caught. And it's such a common way to get hit and change the entire air of the fight, if you will. Here he is fighting in Japan, which is pretty commonplace only because of his weight class. And again, you'll see him lead with that shovel hook. There's kind of just a distance leaping hook, but he'll slide backwards with that. He's got a lot of power in his lead hand. You'll see, here's the reassessing right there, as fast as that was. And again, beautiful. Look at this, hands high, comes up with that 5 into the body dig liver shot, and here's a great shot of the delayed pain. Wonderful boxing. Shovel hook again into a short 2. Again, he really likes to lead with that punch, but you'll notice balanced. He's forever balanced. Sometimes people think of footwork, especially in MMA, and because I know that's kind of my target demographic with these, as being flashy, as being Dominic Cruz, as being TJ Dillashaw, but sometimes it's the Demetrius Johnsons of the world, it's the Marvin Haglers, Chocolatito, like you're seeing. It's just balance, so keep that in mind. So for Muay Thai, I picked Senchai. I have a feeling most of you know who he is, but if you don't, you will now. Fight IQ, evasion, the variety of attacks, his reflexes. So I put the flashy Thai, and I loaded this video with bad jokes, just so you know. So you're going to see a little bit of everything. I love the caught kick and the drastic weak side break of center line here to his own right into that body kick that he kind of leaps into. He's so creative with his attacks. See how he just leans back from that head kick, and that's just a constant thing you'll see with him if he's not catching the kick. There's a nice sweep off of it, high teep to the face, and there's his famous cartwheel kick. Off the caught kicks, he's going to plant his right glove and come over the top with his left foot. Kind of comes downward. It's like it really is like a downward roundhouse. And I've only seen him knock out people in training with it, but I think he's got one knockout in a fight from it. And you're just seeing, like right there from the clinch, he'll jump up, do a 12-6 elbow, and not kill the guy. I know, it's pretty incredible. I think that's only the Kung Fu 12-6. There you get a sense of the power of his elbow strikes here, and I really wanted to include that because he's probably the only one on the list you're going to see elbow. So I love how he skips in a lot, and that's a great little technique that I like to teach myself, because you can get creative with that as far as breaking off center line and keeping people guessing on your attacks. Again, caught kicking a cartwheel. When people catch his kicks, it's like meh. He's so balanced. This is just wonderful. Although it doesn't end up. Look at that skip. I don't know if you recall when I talked about the crossover dribble effect. That was kind of like a short hop before a layup in basketball right there to drastically break to the left. Wonderful stuff. There he is, jumping leg kicks. There he is again with the lean back evasion of the head kick. Again. I mean, incredible. Another 12-6. No one died, thankfully. His sweeps are absolutely legendary. What you'll notice with the ties, that this is amazing. Watch this lead right leg kick, and it's really a scissor kick as he comes up high with the left. It was blocked, but beautiful. I'll skip that point. So, numero dos, boxing, Triple G. If you don't know who that is, you need to. You can read along, pause it if you need to. And I put the Apex Predator, and that one shouldn't be all that tricky to figure out. So what you have in Gennady is someone who's never been knocked down, ever, even as an amateur. Not even knocked down once, and I think it's 93% of his fights have finished in knockout. I believe the streak is at 20 fights or something of that sort. Another liver shot master, and you'll see that as a theme. Another thing that I think you all know that I love. And by the way, when you throw liver shots, I don't know if I've covered this on this channel. There it is, twice in a row, and the second one got in. You want to keep keep in mind, or when you're doing the technique, pretend that as if you had like a shank from like a prison shank, some kind of blade in between your index finger and your middle finger, and you want to kind of stab that into the liver, pointing at their opposite shoulder. If hopefully you can picture that without me doing the actual demonstration. What I was pointing out with this being slowed down is look at how that left comes over the top. He throws these hooks a lot that are angular punches. When you think of angles with striking, a lot of times you think of footwork. Right here you're seeing his unbelievable ability to cut off the ring, and a lot of times in order to do that, it's not just lateral movement, it's 45-degree angle movement. So see, here he is parallel. See how he's moving from where he was on the ropes at a 45-degree angle. And it's a little bit different in the cage because of the shape of the ring in contrast to something more circular. Again, you see this beautiful 6 dig. And watch, there's the delay. And I think I got another angle on this as well. Because what's happening there is the 6 is going to bring in their guard tight, and that way that opens up their back for that. So here he is against Willie Monroe. This was quite the slaughter here. There it is again with the left that I was talking about, going back to the angles thing. He angles his actual punches. It's not just the angles that he creates of attack, it's the angles of his strikes, which is pretty important. This is some people aren't fans of this, but this is a pretty important point or thing to see with him. Is that was, chin meets power at the same time, and this is a pretty extreme example of his power. That didn't hit any. That's not a kidney shot. That is straight on the belly button, which is pretty incredible. Again here, extreme power. Watch where this hits on the guy's head with this right. And that's with boxing gloves, not 4-ounce gloves. And that's good night, Irene. So, lastly, and I don't think this will be a surprise to anyone who's been around long enough, main man, Nieky the Natural Holzken. Probably the best in Glory/K1 rules right now, pound for pound. The thing with him is he can compete in Muay Thai, he can compete in K1 rules, compete as a professional boxer. The guy's he's got it all. So the Dutch Royale, no cheese. I thought that was kind of a cool little camera shot here. A lot of power in both hands and feet. Very versatile. He's from that Deckers lineage. It's like southern. They're all like southern Netherlands guys. Beautiful knees from the clinch, although you can't use both hands. You're seeing here just the variety. I mean, leg kicks with both legs, inside and outside. The mixing up between punches and leg kicks, coming in with a 6 into a clinch knee. It's incredible how seamlessly he'll transition between boxing attacks and Muay Thai attacks, and then throwing something, spinning. His sense of dynamics and cadence are really kind of unparalleled. I can't think of someone who has a grasp on the topic as well as Nieky. This is a wonderful combination. 1, 2, and see the delay here, and that's your cadence, because it's tot as far as the strikes are. Look at that fake knee peel. This is absolutely incredible. He lifts his knee up, checks with a jab into a Dutch hand trap, right short, left inside leg kick into southpaw off the quick set. That is absolutely brilliant. See there how he quick sat on his left side. Beautiful. So some more liver shots here. That one kind of on the run. And there's the same concept. He dropped his right glove here as a distraction. Watch as he punched the guy's head over towards his right side. He flashes the right glove to get him off of that line of blocking the liver shot. And here, like a true person of Raymond Decker's lineage, he has got that technique down. Very Dutch. This fight with Valtellini was pretty incredible. Mr. Bazooka Joe, we want you back, brother. And he finished this at the very end. His time was expiring with a beautiful overhand right. That's a nice close-up shot of it. I put two, if you have time, check out his first fight with Raymond Daniels. I believe it was Glory 23. I'm not positive, but get some more clips there, some more footage. So hope you enjoyed the list, and I'd like to hear from you all who you'd like to include, etc. So thanks for watching. Cheers, everyone.